Hey guys, Fazzy back here, and oh boy, do we have some trades to talk about tonight. So was not expecting to make another video here today, but we have had a absolute blockbuster go down that sees Mikko Rantanen get traded from the Colorado Avalanche to the Carolina Hurricanes. Also part of this trade, Taylor Hall goes from Chicago to Carolina. It is absolutely insane. So we finally have full details of this trade from Frank Seravalli. Let's go into NHL 25 and let's go break everything down. Alright, so we are here in NHL 25. We're gonna have to do this trade in a couple of pieces. So Necas, Drury, Carolina's second and fourth round pick are going to Colorado in exchange for Mikko Rantanen. Rantanen here in game, 94 overall, medium franchise potential, absolute stud for the Avalanche, putting up over 100 points the past two seasons, and he is a guy that is going to be a pending UFA at the end of his contract. Chicago also does retain 50%, so I do have that equated in game here without putting that portion of the trade through. So it'll be interesting to see if he signs on in Carolina, but I guess we're going to have to wait and see. Nature's going the other way, 88 overall medium elite in game. He's been up and down the past few years, but this year he has really broken out and been an insane player for the Carolina Hurricanes. He is going to need a contract, or he is eligible for a contract extension this summer. Jack Drury, also part of this trade, a very good bottom six player. Ended up putting up 27 points last season. That's actually pretty good. Good defensive guy if you go to his faceoffs, putting over 55% last year in a decent sample size. He could be a good option in the bottom six. And then as well as those two draft picks also going to Colorado. So let's try this trade. It's not going to go through, but sending it to the Colorado Avalanche here in NHL 25. Obviously trade rejected. We will have to force this trade through, but let's go to part two. So going over to more or less the second part of this trade, this broke a little bit earlier. The Chicago Blackhawks are getting their third round pick back in exchange for Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall, a guy that, isn't at his Hart Trophy form, unfortunately, anymore, but still a very good player that can slot up and down in your middle six. Was injured a lot of last year, has come back and been, a point every second game player this year, and he can provide you some decent scoring. He is a guy that is also going to need a contract at the end of this year, making $6 million, no retention on Taylor Hall. So trying this trading game for the third, also trade rejected. Let me go and put both these trades through. We'll take a look at the lines for all of these teams. Alright, so first off, looking at the Carolina Hurricanes, Rantanen obviously slotting in on the top line, playing with his countryman Sebastian Aho. I wonder if you can get him to sign an extension. It'll be very interesting to see. Taylor Hall, I have again slotting up and down that middle six. You could swap him with a guy like Roslovic, having actually a very sneaky good year. Maybe should give him a bit of a overall bump, but nonetheless, he can go up and down that second and third line. No changes in the defense, and your goaltending is still Anderson and Kochetkov. Going over to the Colorado Avalanche side of things, and more or less what you would kind of expect, Martin Necas playing alongside Nathan MacKinnon. That combination is going to be absolutely disgusting. I'm sure they are going to have great chemistry once Necas gets to Colorado. Interesting that Parker Kelly stays on that fourth line. Drury, it looks like, I guess, got sent to the minors here for whatever reason, but I definitely see him slotting in on that bottom six. No change in the defense, and no change in the goaltending. And then lastly, Chicago, the team with the least amount of changes, just losing Taylor Hall. So, I don't know, expect some of the younger guys to probably get a chance, like a guy like Frank Nazar, you'll probably play him a little bit more up, but nonetheless, goaltending and defense also do remain the same. But wow. Definitely the biggest trade we've seen in the NHL here in a number of years. A lot of people are going back to the Tkachuk for Huberdeau trade, and I would probably agree. The difference is that was an off-season trade to something just going down on a random January night. So just absolutely insane. Starting out with the Colorado Avalanche. And the whole reason this trade apparently is going down is because Rantanen and the Avs are not going to be able to come to terms on a new contract that was confirmed by Chris Johnson. So the Carolina Hurricanes here swoop in, they get their guy. I do think they are the overall winners of this trade here today. They do get the best player in this trade here today. But honestly, for Colorado, it's hard to say. I don't hate it. I like getting a young, skilled guy like Martin Necas. The thing is, can you sign him long term? If they can, it may not look so bad in a few years, but if he ends up walking in, 2 years, year and a half now, that's going to look really bad on the Avs. And same thing goes for Carolina. They have to sign Mikko Rantanen here. There is no extension at time of recording. If he just walks in the summer, you give up a lot of assets and a lot of value for a guy that's just going to be with your team for half a season. So it's hard to say. A lot of this is going to come down to the summer. A lot of this is going to come down to, do these guys even sign contracts? And then going over to the Chicago-Carolina kind of smaller trade here, I guess you can say today. Chicago sending off Taylor Hall. Honestly, I think the value is a little bit low, just getting a third-round pick basically for Hall and that retained salary. I think you could have got a little bit more, and honestly, maybe it was just more value just to hang on to Taylor Hall, just so he can play with Connor Bedard, continue to mentor the young superstar. But that is just me. At least you're getting some value there for a guy that likely won't be re-signing with you. So yeah, I think that kind of goes through all my thoughts here today. Apparently, there is rumors online that there is much bigger trades in the work here. That is something that Frank Saravalli has also kind of teased us with. So I don't know. Maybe we'll be back here very soon. We're going to have to wait and see. But definitely let me know, what do you guys think of this trade here today? Absolutely insane. I still don't even really know what to make of this, to be honest, so be very interested to see what you all have to say as well. But that is going to do it for today's trade simulation. I will see you all in the next video.